Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Angru, hello.
And folks, today I didn't say ladies and Germans because we have ourselves a little bit of red on red action, or blue on blue action, but really, just two allies kicking the bejesus out of each other. Rang, what's going on in Orsha East?
Well, on the left-hand side in the blue, we have AmberT playing as 1st Polish Infantry Division with a balanced income. Right-hand side in the red, we have Sir Daniels playing as 6th Airborne, also with a balanced income.
I can't remember the last time I actually saw the 6th Airborne. I feel like it hasn't been terribly often. I can remember the last time I saw the first Poles. But how is this going to match up? I mean, of course, infantry on one side, less so infantry on the other, but can the tanks of the Poles balance out the infantry of the Red Devils here?
Oh no, both sides have pretty damn good infantry, and both sides don't have a lot of armor, especially AmberT. He barely has anything in the anti-tank tab, all in his tank tab either. Both sides just seem very similar, mainly using lots of aircraft. So, this would be a pretty even matchup, and, well, I mean, the 6th Airborne advantage is really just a bit of extra veterancy on those paratroopers.
Does certainly seem to be the case. We have an early Centaur being brought on in, and now, of course, guys, this is not the the ADA Centaur. This is just a 95 howitzer variety here. But I think my favorite tanks, or tankettes, really, are these Tetrarchs and these Tetrarch Little Johns down here in case it's BA-10 and taking out that BA-10. I love those things. I don't know why.
Yeah, I wish to see 6 Airborne more often, as it is a very cool thematic division. They got a lot of fun little equipment and good infantry play. So it's a nice change of pace here, but this southern forest fight is just getting absolutely bloody here. As the air landings are getting in and the Poles are chucking their Molotovs, and we have the penal troops hanging about. It's a lot of action.
I think the Poles aren't really throwing the Molotovs to hurt the 6th Airborne. I think it's more of like a celebratory thing, like, hi, have some liquor. Oops, it exploded. Like, you gotta watch out. The drink will kill you. That's the important thing you have to watch out for. And then, of course, actually, we have the Willie P. Gammon bombs. I forgot about these guys. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, they can definitely fight back pretty royals, Canadian powers with the Willie P. It's a good counter to Molotov. Is your own type of Molotov cocktail in a way. But the Tetrarchs have just been kind of branching back and forth for as far as not wanting to really dedicate to an engagement. Rightfully so, as anti-tank rifles, no Tetrarchs aren't a tank.
True. Very true. Watching otherwise, I know you had your acting, bit from a couple weeks back with that kind of gentle rebuke of PP, the Papa Shah range here. I feel like the Sten needs a small range buff.
No, Ray. No.
No, you don't think so?
Oh no, it's like a piece of tubing which they just slap together. If anything needs a range buff, it should be all SMGs.
Okay, yes, but yeah. That was part of the thing there. I wasn't just trying to say one or the other, but rather just like,
I thought you meant like the Sten specifically.
Oh no, everything. But in this particular case here, I feel like so many of the SMGs, it's kind of like, why am I carrying these things? They don't do anything.
Yeah, it can be very hard to get into a position with SMGs in this game, just due to how big the maps can be, of course. Honestly, all SMGs should be 120 to 150 meter range, but I'll leave that SMG video to speak for itself.
Absolutely. Ox and Buck's being sent into the southern side. Of course, we have Su-76 is starting to shoot at those Tetrarchs. And the Tetrarch is backing away demurely. Unfortunately, he waits just a little bit too long and gets taken on out by the Su-76, so well done there.
Yeah. Indeed, indeed. There's just a lot of heavy infantry play really all over.
You said about the fact that there's not a whole lot of tanks over here in AmberT's deck, and that's technically true. But there's still 36 T-34s, and I know that we're not talking 85s, and we're not talking like the 44 variants or even the 45 variants, but 36 T-34s is nothing to sneeze at, especially at the premium price that he's getting them right now.
Oh yeah, you're correct on that one. That is actually quite a lot of tanks in hindsight, especially compared to 6 Airborne. You just do not get that availability compared to Poles, even though Poles have, I was looking at it in terms of cards. There's like similar amount of cards of tanks, but if T-34s are, It's like going to the bargain bin and just getting a scoop full of, unhygienic candy.
True. True. So actually, I want to make two comments then. First, one, Deeker, this one's for you. Con was right twice in 2 weeks. Let's
on the
road.
road.
Second thing, first airplane is coming in here. Tempest is bombing that town. I'm happy to see it, but at the same time, there's gonna be a lot more that needs to happen before the Tetrarchs and the Paras and even the couple of Centaurs that we're seeing are going to be able to crack that particular nut.
Yeah, and there's still quite a lot of armor on the field. Well, it's not a whole lot of armor of the T-34s currently, but 6 Airborne doesn't really have that much of a counter trade. They don't have AT guns nearby. The Tetrarchs can't really fight T-34s, obviously, so it's gonna keep AmberT in a good position. Just as long as he has the armor support backing him up, his infantry should be running out these fights.
Well, the amusing thing is down to the south, we see the good example of what happens when they don't have armor and immediate support. Ox and Bucks, Canadian Paras, I mean, even the air landing troops are doing pretty well. It's going to take an IL-2 run to really definitively push back that particular strike. And it was more of a warning shot, to be fair. Like, let's be honest. But
don't come back.
Now, the other comment. Oh yes, I was going to get back to your bargain bin thing. The Tetrarchs, by comparison, I feel like those are like the discount candies that you get. Like when you have Halloween up in Canada, if memory serves.
Yeah, that's a thing here.
Exactly. So like it's like when you go to that one house and they give you like Necco wafers, where it's like technically it's candy, but like it's Necco wafers.
Yeah, it's complete crap. Like, why are you even giving it out? Come on, give me an Mars bar.
Exactly. I feel like Tetrarchs at that point, just put them in the recon tab. That's where they belong.
It's like going to the grocery store and you see like that bucket of DVDs. Who buys DVDs first off in 2021? And secondly, like, it's always like the complete crap movies, or like the movies you always see on TV all the time, like Jurassic Park 3.
Yes, not like Jurassic Park 1 with the extra features or anything like that, where it actually might be worth something. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Looking elsewise here, I also didn't quite appreciate how many damn Little Johns they get. Just, again, you don't see them often enough to appreciate that there's a potential of getting an additional 12 Daimlers on the field. I'm actually super stoked for those.
Yeah, they could actually perform pretty well on a map like this, especially on the hill where it's close quarters. I mean, those Little John adapters can be pretty nasty. I mean, it's still not the best anti-tank because you don't have a whole lot of damage on penetration, so there's a good chance a T-34 can return fire. Well, it does work, and holy crap, Tetrarchs have managed to kill one of the T-34s on the hill. But the problem is with 6 Airborne is that even if they have the armor advantage of the Tetrarchs, it's not like the Tetrarchs can really give sufficient fire support to help her in fights. I mean, he has the Centaur and a few machine guns, but that's about it.
Looking over to the AAA, yeah, actually, we're almost into the Polstons. We're not going to see any tracked vehicles here for that. And the 37 mils are being brought onto the field. Some palms are being set on up. So, I'm trying to think about what the artillery can be done over here. Ooh, there could be a delicious amount of firepower. There could be the potential to see 12 25-pounders come see. I don't know if we're going to see that, but there's also 75 mil pack howitzers. I mean, we have the opportunity for 203 off maps. Like, I really truly forgot how much firepower 6th Airborne brings to the front. It just gets hidden, I feel like, so much behind its lack of armor.
Yeah. It's also because 6th Airborne has like a Belgian attachment to them, which gives them a little bit of regular rifle support, all in all. Up north, we have seen a bit of a push here from Sir Daniels, managing to capture, where he's not in the enemy farmstead on the other side of the road, but he essentially has it under control. As AmberT really has nothing up north, everything's just been focused onto the hill, and as you see, northern part of the hill, there's penal troops actually pushing on through.
Yeah, they are trying to break on through to the other side, but they're revealing themselves into a rather horrible crossfire. But Tetrarchs are going to go down, like you said. That right there is a major major liability of them is that you can take them out with anti-tank rifles, and you can take them out easily with anti-tank rifles.
Yeah, I mean, they have paper-thin armor, so they just die very quickly, they get suppressed very quickly, they don't have high explosive shells. I think there's a good reason why they didn't really continue with the glider tank concept.
Well, you know, sorry, I was listening to a podcast recently about the tank wing over from the Soviets. Oh my gosh, at least the Tetrarchs weren't that.
Or they actually tried to make the tank, like, they put the rings on the tank.
Yes,
That picture,
yes.
yeah.
It was like, how can we make tank plane? Ah, yes, put wings on it. Therefore, it must work.
That's still a crazy picture they even attempted yet.
Well, it happened one time. They put like the best test pilot in the Soviet Union on for it. It's a fantastic story. Like
Yeah.
if you haven't heard about the tank wing, you need to listen to it. Now we are going to see some of those Belgians actually coming in right now. Triple pack of those of the Voltigeurs being brought on in with some of that badly needed anti-tank weaponry. Right now, all they have is the air landing troops, who, yes, they are technically have, all of that rinky-dink little peon, but not going to be enough in my mind.
Yeah, they just don't really have the numbers, especially compared to the, Soviet/Polish rifle spam. Especially when, right now, we're just seeing a lot of these penal troops, and they've been working out very well just due to the high numbers, and of course, those lovely anti-tank rifles.
Very, very true. I'm wondering if we're going to see a potential push here in the south. There are no more vehicles down there. There's a Tetrarch, which again, isn't much, but I think there's just enough firepower that they can take out these penal troops, heck, even the NKVD and the officers behind them, without too much trouble.
Yeah, it's actually quite weird seeing this southern side still be contested this far into the match, as usually by this point, one side is pretty much cleared out the forest. So it's just a 50-50 split with neither side wanting to make a move.
And unfortunately, the storm has waited too long to come in. The IL-2 takes out one of those pack howitzer positions. And I think we're going to see a second one being... Yep, the second one going after... Actually, oh no. I thought it was going after the other howitzer.
Oh, he's going after the Tempest now, it seems. He's not going to be able to catch up, but if he does get his guns on, I mean, doing those IL-2s can be surprisingly deadly against aircraft.
But you can't chase the wind.
No.
No. This isn't Twister. So there's still the one-pack howitzer, and again, right now we're going to see some minimal kind of engagement here. I do like, here's that 203 off-ramp that's being brought on in. I'm going to suspect the second that artillery really truly hits, we'll see this Belgian contingent make a push to maybe secure the eastern side of that town. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but they theoretically have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing AmberT's infantry moving now, and still just barely going to be... Oh no, I guess going to escape the barrage effect, Jen, with the T-34s backing him up. Sir Daniel's going to be forced off the hill and losing that... He still technically has a bit of the hill position down south of the Vickers MG, but it's not really looking good for him. The only reason it's really a 12-12 is because of that northern position with that farmstead, which could pretty easily be contested.
I actually am quite surprised that it's not been contested, but you know what just happened that's really quite important? The NKVD officer went down. So the removed disheartened that they did have, the penal troops are now completely unable to hold any kind of territory. So that was extremely lucky right there.
Yeah, and we are seeing the Tetrarchs and Little Johns move up, but the T-34s are backing up and at longer range. They have proved to be quite deadly.
They're quite deadly, yes, but the Dame of Little John really only needs a Tetrarch there as a blade of armor. You can see right there, 2 shots, 2 kills.
I forgot how nasty that thing can be. Oh, it has 5 damage. That's not too bad, actually. I thought it was only like 4 or 3 damage on penetration.
No, okay, well, there we go.
Yeah,
and these poor penal troops, they're falling back from one engagement just to be hit again by more artillery. Jeez.
You've heard of 1 artillery, how about 2 artillery? Maybe 3 if you get lucky.
We're also seeing more Polish desantniki being brought on down to the south. In fact, 3 squads. The trucks, they've stopped. I don't know. We'll see what happens down there in just a bit. I thought we were going to see maybe a Polish push as well. But second artillery barrage comes on in. Daimlers are being pushed forwards in a rough contingent here. And the Strelky squad, which I really thought were going to be extremely successful in holding this western side of this town, are going to get pounded into the dirt.
Yeah, holy crap, they're all just being forced to fall back here. And Sir Daniel was just going all in with the Diamond Little John push here. I mean, his lack of armor is, you know, definitely a bit of a issue compared to the T-34 spam, but he's making up for it with the Little Johns. Of course, the problem with Little Johns and Tetrarch, pretty terrible infantry support.
Unless he's bringing 3 AB engineers, Tempest is coming in to actually hit the front lines, I think. Yeah, he's not for that Strelky. Oh my gosh, that was a House of God. Oh no, never mind, that's to the south. We're good.
Oh.
Carry on with your heretical ways. There we go. The south side, this on Niki are being thrown on in, and here comes another bombing run. And this might be able to stabilize the situation. No. No, it whiffs like crazy.
Holy crap, they're going past the forest. They're just making an end run here. But that Tetrarch is deadly. He's going to get them.
He's deadly, but he's not even engaging the other one, and he goes down.
Well, yeah. The two flamethrower or Tanko Destiny Iki troops are now caught out in the open against the Grenadiers' vote, and I don't feel like they're going to be able to make any more progress here. But the main thing is that Royal AmberT got the Southern Forest completely under his control, which will definitely alleviate losing a little bit of that position on the hill.
But he's traded for the central position, and not for nothing, but I feel like I'd rather have the central position than the southern one.
Yeah, the central position is pretty damn nice once you fully hold that hill, but he has not managed to do that. And this is a wicked counterattack here from Sir Daniels. Anyway, he's a little bit slow in that infantry initially with the off-map barrage, but he finally got his AB engineers and grenadiers up into the front line here. We are seeing T-34s being thrown in, but you know, that was Diamond Little John. Pretty nasty bit of kit.
Especially with that one-star veterancy, he's not going to engage the other T-34. That's going to be his downfall here. Oh no, crew panicked. Okay, that was very, very fortunate. Yikes. Okay, he's going to get that shot. Again, I feel like he's getting extremely lucky. The rate of fire on that thing is delicious. Oh my gosh, I have to see that again.
It's 15 rounds a minute.
This is a 6th Airborne town.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Wow.
I'm loving seeing like the Tetrarchs and Little Johns actually working out. It's just like the perfect engagement for them. Where it's not super close quarters and not super long range, it's the Goldilocks. It's just like a few hundred meters between you and the enemy.
And they have a crazy amount of speed too. Again, off-map, excuse me, off-road, not off-map. Off-road 40, on-road 80, that's insane.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
That's L6 territory.
And you can just use them to hunt down the tanks. He's finally got some Cromwell Mark 5s on the field, which are a little bit more... They're not great, but still better. And, you know, Little John's at long range. But heck, I mean, Little John comes around the corner, T-34 goes kaboom.
Exactly. Now this IL-2 is going to start pounding him, I think, with... At least... Oh, I think that's going to go for the 23 Mike. But nope, just bombs and yeah. If I drop 1,000 pounds of explosives on a Daimler Little John, I better be able to take it out.
Yep, there won't be much of a Little John here apart from a little bit of the vehicle.
I would say he must be much littler John after that.
The littlest John.
But braces of T-34s being sent to the center. Braces of T-34s being sent to the northern side and onto that hillside. Interesting decision. Oh, actually, that's a great firing position. Theoretically being able to kind of shift a little bit further south, a little bit further north rather, and be able to put some really, really thin shots onto that reinforcement avenue. It's not going to be enough, and then indeed these T-34s cannot be aggressive right now, at least until there's some sort of off-map, and there's a Katyusha that's possible to kind of maybe break that siege. But, or Su-76s might also work. But right now, there's some hard work that's got to have to happen.
Yeah, it's quite funny how this hill is just completely flipped over to Sir Daniel's side, and just a few minutes. We are seeing the T-34s move up, but they don't have any infantry support, so I don't think they're going to make it all that far by themselves. And we are seeing the pack archers trying to blow up those anti-aircraft guns, so Sir Daniels can start getting the RAF back into the fight.
Checking down to the south for half a second to see what's going on in the southern flank. And you can see the Grenadiers, these Belgians, game for anything, charging into the trees. There's still that one Cromwell down to the south. These are face off against 2 T-34Es, as well as all the associated Soviet infantry. I don't know if there's really a fight I'd want to take as a Cromwell. I feel like I'd probably would consider a career change at that point.
Well, he's getting reinforced, Joe, by a platoon of Daimler Little Johns coming in to save the day. And Typhoon AT.
Yes, that's the first we've seen a rocket run, and some of the T-34s, they're no more. So, yowza.
Yeah, yowza indeed. Like, damn, those Little Johns are bloody good. Knocking out tanks, I mean, the Grenadiers vote are not going to have a great time here. We do have cavalry coming in from the northern hill to help out. I was about to say AmberT was in a pretty good position to maybe make some heavy plays down south, considering he lost the central hill. But I feel like he's going to lose the south here in just a few minutes.
There's a couple of things that have to happen, and one is that the 6th Airborne needs to be able to go a minute or two without reinforcing the center, and that is not an impossible ask, but it's certainly difficult as we're getting more Su-76s, the T-34 still prowling around there. And there's a huge wave of Strokies being sent on in. On the southern side, you still have to clean out just a couple of these squads, but you can flip 2 flags and get that -2 bleed, and that would be rather important.
Yeah, but it does feel like the central position is actually going to flip over. AmberT mans in the flank of T-34s on the hill up north onto the central hill position. There's only one Cromwell here, and he's a little bit outgunned, but he's doing his best.
Yes, but never outfought. We see one of the T-34s already going down, and I didn't quite appreciate the amount of machine gun fire for those 2 T-34s. Those poor Grenadier Voltigeurs, so this guy's going to be forced on back. But the southern side, 17-7.
What the Oh, it's like all those flags down south flipped as well.
Yes, yes.
Holy crap, but yeah, it's gonna peter out a little bit, only to a 16-8. And also you got to consider, you know, Sir Daniels still holds the north uncontested just by having that bloody farmstead.
And this is the thing, like I said, if you can hold it for another minute or two, you'll have enough time to throw more troops back into the central position.
Mm-hmm.
Still a lot of AB pairs I can get sent on in, and at 25 per, yeah, that's a nice price.
That's not bad at all. The T-34s are taking some casualties on the hill. One does go down, but so does the Cromwell here. So, I mean, in regards, I mean, AmberT has the armor advantage for the time being until these 2 6-pounders, and even more Little Johns down south, redeploying up north. And then the southern side is completely gone here for AmberT, apart from that wrong Tanko Descent key, which is going to be hanging out in the forest on a little camping trip with their Molotovs.
And that bombing run in the center is exactly what needed to happen. One Tempest comes in, freed of any kind of concerns, really, of all of that anti-aircraft fire, pins down 5 squads. Perfect. What did you say?
Perfect indeed. But the hill position is starting to look a little bit tenuous for Sir Daniels. He did get a good stress out on the infantry, but once they come back to their senses, there's not a whole lot of AB engineers left. And ideally, Sir Daniels wants to try and hold the line where he currently is. That's a perfect position, that perfect choke point to get your Shoki DPs out in the open, use his artillery, use his aircraft, and just hold until relieved. But it's looking a bit tenuous.
It's not going to be there in time. He's got 4 squads being brought on in, but there's 3 T-34s? Yeah, 3 T-34s. And this single Cromwell's not going to be enough, I think, to hold the southern flank. The penal troop does go down, which means we get back to a 15-9 here for a second. Oh, wait, the rocket planes! Jeez.
Not a good day to be a T-34 tanker, I think, Khan.
Hey, it's not too much better to be, Commonwealth infantry, but there we are.
It's not a good day to be in a war. Or an IL-2.
Yeah, that's the second we've seen go down in as many minutes, so not exactly what you'd be hoping to see. The southern side, potentially getting some machine guns being brought on in here. I think he's going to bring just the Su-76s in and just start barraging as whenever he can see anything. Regrettably for him, there's still a dim Little John that can move over here to the west, see the Su-76s, and, pop a couple shots, and then take a squat and just kind of go back into the trees.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. We are seeing AB powers being brought into the central hill position. The trophy DPs aren't in a great position to contest, as they move in out in the open instead of building to building. So this is going to give the AB powers time to actually get into these reinforced locations and actually catch the trophy DPs out in the open.
Exactly. And AB Paras, we've been talking about it, other than the stun guns, decent firepower.
Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, the main thing, like, with a lot of airborne troops is the Raider trait, which does increase their survivability. But it's mainly just, like, I don't know, the veterancy, and I don't know, they're just, like, decent. They're not great loadout, but it's not terrible either, even though it's only a single Brent gun.
Well, it's one of those things that kind of like have they're not glider troops. Like, that's the important thing, right?
Yeah, but glider troops do have that role, to be fair, of being more of a Piat squad rather than close combat.
Sure.
But yeah, like, oh yeah, glider troops. I was thinking air landed. My bad. Glider troops are disheartened.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I was. Oh god, you're right. You're right again. I don't know. Oh.
Twice in a replay. Woo!
I'm gonna have to like. I need to start reevaluating things now, Khan. I think I'm losing it.
Well, folks, actually, we were discussing just before we went live on this cast that we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary, so I think Rang has just got visions of sugar plums in his head. I think he's waiting for me to ask him the big question. So,
I ain't getting any younger.
That's true, but I'm sorry, Rang, my heart's promised to another. IL-2, in the meantime, coming down here to the south, and by another, of course, I mean the 21st Panzer. IL-2's down here to the south is going to get engaged by a couple of Tempests, and, one by one, those heavy bombers are getting taken out. The carpets are still in play. They're still very much in play. But those bombers, which I would argue have far more utility right now, they're just dropping out of the sky one by one.
Yeah, I mean, Sir Daniels is playing 6 airborne like you need to, and that is actually using the air power. Because a lot of the division really comes down to good rocket runs, good bombing runs, and, I mean, Tempests and Typhoons is just lovely aircraft. Great firepower, good survivability, good speed. You can really get a lot of bang for your buck with 6 airbornes, well, planes.
True. Very true. Last 203 barrage is being used over here in the central position. I think the 203... no, they got taken out. But that's a third barrage right there, and I don't think we're going to see a giant push. I think this is more of an FU to the front lines for the Poles, as opposed to preparation for anything else.
Yeah, just try to keep him back for the time being. I feel like Sir Daniels is just happy right now, just keeping the hill as it is, just hold on to his side and don't completely lose it. I mean, he's got that 14-10. Up north is not going to be... Down south is going to be contested a little bit. I mean, you had that Katusha fire off, and we got some Maxim machine guns being brought in, but it's not enough to really get into that, like, southern forest, especially if that 17-pounder sneaking up.
The fact that the 17-pounder, geez. The fact that he's bringing in Maxims right now, I get the feeling things are not necessarily dire, but once you start seeing Maxims being the primary infantry, it starts to look a little bit weird. Another IL-2 goes down. Geez, the Tempest goes down, though, too.
Planes falling all over.
Exactly. Typhoon not to be outdone, coming back in for that Su-76. Oh, no, he's not?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
He lived for now. Yeah, I think the reason he brought all those Maxims is just to suppress any infantry in the edge of the forest. Which makes sense, but it's still not going to allow him to get into the forest, and he needs more CQC troops to do that. I mean, he's got Stroke DP being brought in, but that's not exactly... I mean, it's kind of CQC, F9 SVTs, but not ideal.
Was it a single stroke DP?
Yeah, a single one. And the Maxims aren't exactly forest fighters.
That's true. That's true. But anti-tank guns, they're not exactly the ones you expect to be preventing forest fighters. So... Cromwell, in the meantime, Cromwells are trying to face off his T-34E. And, well, that E is certainly not there for easy. It's not going to be easy pushing him back, that's for sure.
Nope, but it will be enough to force that Cromwell to pull back.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Now, just heck, even kill it, Cromwell. Kind of thing overall, the David Littlejohn, wasn't the adapter there to kind of just shove basically a fired shell into a more compressed tube?
Yeah, it's a squeeze bore technology, so essentially it's used like a tungsten shell, and it's an adapter you put over a 2-pounder gun, and it's this weird sciencey mumbo jumbo where as the shell travels through the barrel, it's like parts of it are rifled and parts of it aren't, and it makes the shell smaller, but you have the same amount of bullet velocity on it, so it goes faster and penetrates more armor and blows up German tanks.
So it's a $6 million shell. You know, we can reuse it. Stronger, better, faster, smaller.
Yeah.
Another machine gun battalion is being dispatched to the central position. And yeah, I really feel at this point, I feel like the Russians might be running a little bit lower on troops. More pack howitzers are being brought on in. No 25-pounders yet. I'm a little disappointed at that. Wait, how many barrages? Oh, he gets 2 of those. Yikes. I didn't even see... Did he bring in a second one?
I think so.
I guess the other one died there, but, alright.
There we go. We got much more off-map coming in shortly. And same with some cluster bombers there. Trying to just knock out a single Cromwell. Does get it, but... Royals, Cromwells aren't exactly the scariest things in the world. But AmberT is making some progress with his Stroke DP spam through the center until the off-map hitch.
Well, it's not going to hit the front edge, I think, as much. So the machine gun battalion should more or less be okay. Half of them are going to get pinned, as you can see right here. But unless the Strokies get really, really unlucky, I don't think this push going across this open area is going to go too negatively. I think it's actually a really good opportunity for him.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, it's still at 15-9, so Daniel's getting that lovely +2, and as he pushing up north onto like the northern town position on the hill, clearing out Stroke DPs with his paratroopers, and that's going to be a pretty easy hold now.
So it does seem to be the case now, doesn't it? Down south real quick, Temper's taken out of the plane. There we go. And geez, now the artillery fire is coming in. It is heavy and it is continuous.
Holy crap, yeah, it's 4 pack howitzers in a nice little battery, and they've all just Stroke DPs.
But there's a Katyusha there as well, to the west.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm thinking, he says he's just going to mark that down, just keep in the old memory banks there. And there's going to be a Katyusha barrage, and it's going to obliterate that entire thing.
That's true.
Mark my words.
But, the big but, it's going to take a little bit for it to reload.
True.
So, and there's not a whole lot of time left. I mean, AmberT is going to lose in 3 minutes if it keeps at his +2 bleed.
That is also true. That is very true.
But the fat lady may not be able to sing, Khan.
Please, please, please. We don't call that the lead soprano. She of large tracts of land. IL-2 being brought on in, and at long last there are other Polstons here who have not lost their entire ammunition load here. Was he trying? What was he trying to hit? Strange. Very strange. I'm surprised by the effectiveness of the 6th Airborne air power in this. I think that a couple of artillery strikes, and geez, even those off maps, might have been just enough to suppress the anti-air to turn this around. I feel like without that, I feel like the Poles definitely had an upper leg here.
Yeah, Yeah, both. I really find this replay interesting, as both sides are very similar in terms of how they're built. Divisionally speaking, I mean, first poles also rely a lot on air power over those IL-2s, but I mean, the 6th Airborne air power is as much more like pre-mill. Same thing with the infantry. Everything, just most things have in Raider traits. It's just, you know, it's extremely nice. Like 6th Airborne is a pretty strong division, of course. You know, the tanks can be a bit of a pain, but you know, if you're making good use of those Tempest and Typhoon bombing runs, it doesn't matter as much.
No, it doesn't, does it? This on Nikki behind enemy lines. He finally gets found, and he might. Is he gonna get a surrender? No.
No.
He's gonna kill him.
One lone guy is a PP shot. Oh. He lost line of sight.
IL-2 kills just enough, though, that this is gonna turn into a Soviet. That was overkill. That was overkill. Like, that was absurd overkill.
Poor guy. Oh, I feel sorry for him.
Oh, yeah. 17-pounder, he's going to take his pound of flesh. He's going to go down before too much longer. He's not... There's a single squad... actually, it's an officer that might even protect it for about 30 seconds. Not going to last very long. It's really just up to this Tempest. Jeez. And I am really quite impressed with how effective the air power has been. It's really just air power, actually, in artillery, too.
Yeah, it's just lots of high explosive suppression through that. I mean, the off maps have been, like, key, I feel like, for Sir Daniels, and just suppression those big strokey blobs.
I think there was a temperature just went down here. Might have been IL-2 wasn't paying attention. The important thing is that IL-2 is going to force back without getting to get its bomb load off there. Stroke is in the meantime in that town on that middle hillside. They're going to hold out for a bit of time here. But it's like trying to hold back the tide with your hand. You know, when you're trying to make it like a sandcastle, and you know, it's awesome. It's a great sandcastle. But you can't keep back. It's gonna fall into the sea sooner or later.
It's very poetic, Khan.
You know, I was listening to the bard Jimi Hendrix at some point recently, and I think it just resonated with me, man. I feel like I'm ready to be a Grammy award-winning artist. Play guitar with both hands, but equally well, which is to say, not at all. So this Typhoon, I mean, again, Typhoons, IL-2s. I want to see this Katyusha go after this artillery position, because now they're also bringing in another 75 millimeter right there. So it's gonna go 5 of them, and then wave upon wave of just junk all over the place. Just for the 6th Airborne being pinned down in the middle of you know, the hellscape that is Market Garden. They're remarkably well supplied.
Mm-hmm. They're doing pretty good. Down south, yo, lost my speech here for a second, not uncommon. The forest has flipped over to AmberT, finally managing to kick the powers out of here, but seems a little bit too little too late. I mean, it's so close for AmberT. I mean, only 1 minute on a +1 bleed. It's not a good position to be in.
Well, there still are Paras down there too. So there's a Para down there who has the GAMs. He's got the GAMs. So you gotta respect the GAMs. But so 14-10 right now. It's probably gonna end up as a 13-11. And wait, yep, here comes the Katyusha barrage, and it's gonna obliterate that artillery position. One's down. Yeah, had this happened 2 minutes earlier, 3 minutes earlier, I think this would be a completely different story.
It didn't really kill it only killed like 1 supply vehicle, so 75 mils will be able to get back shooting. But it was nice to actually see the Katyusha actually Katyush.
I think it was more about the idea though of, if you look at the center part of the map, it looks like the freaking moon.
Oh yeah.
And I think the reason for that is, you know, yes, the 203 for sure, but also because of those pack howitzers. Those pack howitzers have been a force multiplier for a good chunk of time here.
Yeah, just been firing bloody constantly. It feels like the Stroker DPs have managed to get into a good position, and it is a 12-12. I mean, AmberT has managed to stabilize the front for the time being. And they're down south kicking out the powers, engaging long range of Stroker DPs. But it's just too many powers here, and I feel like he's going to lose that engagement. And they have the Tempest coming in. He's really going to lose that engagement.
And yeah, I think we're going to see the last few seconds take off here. Really loved seeing the 6th Airborne here.
Oh.
I am surprised that the northern side has just been this gentleman's agreement for most of the match. After that initial kind of fight over the farm, nothing really happened there ever again.
Yeah, it's funny. In the last replay recasted Khan, the southern flank was a gentleman's agreement too. No one, even towards the end of the game where things are getting desperate, decided to push. Like, it's usually just like central flank and then either north or southern flank. Which is very interesting. Like how things kind of tunnel vision like that in 1v1. So that's not super uncommon.
No, it's not, but what is super uncommon is having a KD over here that between the two approaches, their power level is over 8,000. And indeed, if you look at this, probably the most effective centaur I've ever seen in my life, killing 5 things. Not to be fair, most of them are just, foot sloggers. Tempest did very well for himself, gets a kill. But there's a surprising amount. Yeah, this Dame of Littlejohn.
Whoa.
5 kills. 6
Wow.
pounder. 4 kills. Tempest, 3 IL2s. I mean, there were definitely some small heroes that were here today. But I think the Dame of Littlejohns, I think, really punched above their weight. I feel like that early Daimler play is what really kind of put them in a great position for the late game.
Yeah, I'm still quite surprised as how effective they can be. I mean, at high rate of fire and high armor penetration can be a pretty nasty combo in the right circumstances. And on that map, where it's close quarters, actually, surely they were just T-34 killers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But very, very well done. Looking at losses on the other side, we have some small, minor heroes here. Nothing that's a hero of Soviet Union level, but still, decent job nonetheless. Regardless, though, really well played to both sides. Loved seeing both of those divisions duke it out. It's been a while since we've seen the 6th Airborne, and I love seeing the Poles played effectively as well.
Yeah, it's just a very good match from 2 very similar divisions and just explosive, quite literally.
So I guess with that thought in mind, as we wrap up another week of coverage, any final thoughts, sir?
SD League, keep sending us good replays, please.
I mean, yeah, this past week's been a lot of fun already, but yeah, let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. I know you guys got stuff, so until next week then, folks, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.